Imagine this. You check into a grand Parisian hotel with your mother. You leave for just an hour to fetch her medicine. But when you return, the hotel staff tells you they've never seen you before. They claim your mother was never with you. And the room you just left, it never existed. This is the chilling story of the vanishing hotel room of 1889, a mystery that blurs the line between a young woman's sanity and a conspiracy so perfect it left no trace. It's a tale that has been whispered for over a century, a ghost story set not in a haunted house but in the bustling heart of a modern city at the height of its glory. The year is 1889 and Paris is the centre of the universe. The city is throwing the party of the century, the Exposition Universelle, a massive world's fair to celebrate the 100th anniversary of the French Revolution. People from every corner of the globe are flooding in to see the marvels of the modern age. The crown jewel of it all is the brand new Eiffel Tower, a lattice of iron so audacious it's met with both awe and outrage. The city is bursting at the seams, hotels are booked solid, and the streets are a constant parade. Into this dazzling chaos step two English travellers, a mother and her adult daughter. Let's call them Mrs. and Miss Lane, though their names tend to change with each retelling of the tale. They've been travelling for days, but the long journey has taken its toll. Mrs. Lane, the mother, is feeling deeply weary. Still, they manage to find a room in a grand hotel near the heart of the city. After signing the register, a porter leads them up a winding staircase, down a long hallway and into their room. It's decorated in the opulent style of the day, with heavy velvet curtains and rose-patterned wallpaper. From the window, they can just glimpse the top of the Eiffel Tower. They're tired, but they've made it. Mrs. Lane, feeling worse by the minute, lies down. She complains of a splitting headache and a creeping chill. Her daughter, let's call her Catherine, figures it's just exhaustion. She helps her mother into bed, draws the curtains and settles into a chair, listening to the muffled sounds of the vibrant city. The room feels safe, a quiet sanctuary from the overwhelming energy of Paris. As the hours tick by, it becomes clear this isn't just travel fatigue. Mrs. Lane's condition is getting worse. Her headache is blinding and she's running a fever. Catherine is now officially worried. They're alone in a foreign city where they barely speak the language. She hurries down to the lobby and explains the situation to the kind-faced hotel manager. He's sympathetic and recommends a doctor not far from the hotel, writing down the address and directions on a slip of paper. Catherine, anxious to get back, declines his offer to send a translator with her. She rushes back to the room to find her mother shivering. "I'll be back as soon as I can," she promises, tucking her in. "I'll bring the doctor." The carriage ride across Paris is a blur of traffic and anxiety. She finds the doctor, an elderly, serious man who listens to her description of the symptoms. He prepares a tincture that he says will help and gives her precise instructions. Clutching the small, dark bottle, Catherine hires another carriage to go back. Relief begins to wash over her. She has the medicine. Soon, her mother will be on the mend. As the hotel comes into view, all she wants is to be back in the quiet of their room, let's call it room 342, and take care of her mother. Back in the familiar lobby, Catherine heads for the grand staircase. She walks down the familiar carpeted hallway, looking for their room. Room 340, room 341, and then a wall. Where room 342 should be, there is nothing. Just a wall covered in the same faded floral wallpaper as the rest of the hallway. There is no door, no number. It's as if the room was never there. Confusion turns to cold, rising panic. She must be on the wrong floor. She races back down the stairs, heart hammering. No, this is the right floor. She climbs again, slowly this time, counting the doors. Room 340, room 341, a plain, unbroken wall, and then room 343. This is impossible. She was just here. She remembers the door, the brass number, 342. She runs back to the lobby, her composure gone. "My mother," she says, breathless, to the concierge at the front desk. "The woman I checked in with, in room 342? The concierge turns to her with a look of polite confusion. "Pardon, mademoiselle, we have no room 342 in this hotel." His words don't make sense. "What are you talking about?" Catherine demands. "We checked in this afternoon. You gave us the key yourself." The concierge's polite smile never wavers. He slowly turns the heavy guest register around for her to see. "As you can see, mademoiselle, you checked in this afternoon. Alone." She stares at the page. There is her signature, clear as day. But her mother's name is nowhere to be found. The room number listed isn't 342, but 314, on a different floor entirely. She spots the manager who gave her the doctor's address. "You!" she exclaims, rushing towards him. "You helped me." He looks at her with calm, dismissive pity. "Mademoiselle, I believe you are mistaken. I have been in my office for the past several hours." Every face is a blank wall. The bellhop now swears he only carried one set of luggage for a young woman travelling alone. The hotel staff, with their unshakable denials, are systematically erasing her reality. They lead her to room 314, a small, cramped room that looks nothing like the one she remembers. Her bags are there, but her mother's are gone. She is being gaslit on a scale she can't possibly comprehend. Every shared memory has vanished. It wasn't just her mother who was missing. The very room they had occupied had been swallowed by the hotel, leaving nothing but a blank wall and a young woman on the edge of insanity clutching a useless bottle of medicine. So what happens to Catherine? In most versions of the story, her struggle ends in tragedy. Unable to prove her own reality, she's dismissed by the authorities. Some say she was committed to an asylum, her frantic claims about a vanished mother serving as proof of her insanity. She becomes a ghost in her own right, haunted by a memory the world insists is a lie. This terrifying story leaves us with one burning question. What on earth happened? If we assume Catherine was telling the truth, what could possibly explain it? The most popular theory is as horrifying as the disappearance itself. Mrs. Lane didn't have a simple illness. She had the bubonic plague. For the Parisian authorities, a plague outbreak during the exposition Universelle would have been an absolute disaster. News of a deadly contagious disease would have caused mass panic, emptied the city, and ruined France's reputation. According to this theory, the hotel manager and the doctor knew exactly what they were dealing with. The trip for medicine was a ruse to get Catherine out of the hotel for a few hours. While she was gone, a secret team descended on the building. They removed Mrs. Lane's body, stripped room 342 of all its furnishings, and had workers hastily replaster and wallpaper over the door, blending it seamlessly into the hall. The hotel staff were sworn to absolute secrecy. It was a perfect silent conspiracy, executed to protect the city from panic. Catherine wasn't mad, she was the sole witness to a state-sanctioned cover-up. It's a terrifying story, but now it's time for a reality check. Did it actually happen? As captivating as the tale is, historians and folklorists have found no concrete, verifiable evidence, no police records, no hospital admissions, no first-hand accounts that the vanishing hotel room incident ever occurred in Paris in 1889. It is in fact one of the most famous urban legends of all time. So, where did it come from? Researchers have traced the story's origins back to print. One of the earliest known written versions appeared in an article titled A Mystery of the Paris Exposition, penned by a writer named Nancy Vincent McClelland and published in the Philadelphia Inquirer on November 14, 1897. From there, the story took on a life of its own, adapted and retold in countless forms. The 1950 British film So Long at the Fair, starring Gene Simmons and Dirk Bogarde, is directly inspired by the legend. In the movie, a young woman arrives in Paris for the 1889 exposition with her brother, only to wake up and find both him and his room have disappeared. Perhaps the most famous work that shares this theme is Alfred Hitchcock's 1938 masterpiece, The Lady Vanishes. While not a direct adaptation of the Paris legend, the film is based on a 1936 novel called The Wheel Spins by Ethel Lina White. In the screenplay, adapted by Sidney Gilliat and Frank Launder, a young woman on a train befriends an elderly lady who then disappears, with all the other passengers denying she was ever there. The core element, the chilling gaslighting and the desperate fight to prove one's own sanity, is strikingly similar. The story is not a historical event, but a brilliant piece of fiction, presented as fact so many times that the line has blurred. If the story isn't true, why has it endured for over a century? Why does it still get under our skin? The answer lies in the deep psychological fears it exploits. The legend isn't really about a hotel or the plague, it's about the fear of being utterly alone and the terror of having your own memories invalidated by everyone around you. It's a perfect story of gaslighting, the kind of psychological manipulation that makes a victim question their own mind. It also preys on the vulnerability of being a traveller in a foreign land. You don't know the language, you don't know the customs, and you're totally reliant on the goodwill of strangers. The legend turns the hotel, a place of temporary safety, into a site of terrifying instability, where the very walls can shift and conspire against you. Urban legends are more than just spooky stories. They're cultural barometers, reflecting our shared anxieties. The Vanishing Hotel Room is a cautionary tale about the fragility of memory, identity, and trust. It reminds us that our sense of self is built on a shared reality, and there's almost nothing more terrifying than the thought of that reality suddenly dissolving. The room may have never existed, and the mother may have never vanished, but the fear the story inspires is very, very real. It's the fear that one day you might turn around and find that a piece of your world is gone, and you're the only one who remembers it was ever there. What's the most chilling part of this story to you? The cover-up conspiracy, the disappearing room, or the psychological horror of being told you're crazy? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And for more dives into history's most fascinating mysteries, don't forget to subscribe. You can also get access to more content over on our Patreon. For just $5 a month, you get early access to all our content, AD-free and Patreon exclusives. Plus, you are supporting the channel. So until next time, take care of yourself, stay curious, and as always, thank you for watching.